Hey everybody, Patty Ann here. I have a lot of fun things I've been working on that I'm going to be sharing with you soon. One of them is a new heat press for tumblers, and I'm going to show you how easily that works. The other one, or one of the other ones, is I'm going to show how to do something like this from start to finish. It's all made out of little scraps of fabric. The image came from a place where you can get these images for free to make into your design. Further, I'm going to make this into a pillow, and I did free motion quilt it, so I'll be even showing that a little bit. But before we get this involved, I'm going to show you an easier one that I'm going to work on today, and it's going to be this. And I'll have this as a free download for you, this pattern, in case you want to work along with me. The other thing that I'm going to be showing soon is this. Let me move some of these things out of the way. I've been working on, well, you know, I got a new puppy, right? Her name is Roxy. She's adorable. And I've been working on making pillows for her using sublimation. Now, I used a polyester fabric that I'd gotten from Joann's, and it worked really, really well. Then I used this kind of fleece fabric from Joann's that worked really well. This is when Roxy graduated from puppy class. Okay, this is what none of them are totally finished yet. This one's not finished on the bottom. Here she is popping over the top of the couch, and I've filled this one pretty full. I'm not totally done, and I haven't stitched it shut or used like an adhesive to shut it yet. But isn't that super cute? Don't you think people would love these for gifts for Christmas? So I'm going to show you how to do this as well. And then there's another fabric that I'm doing it on. Oh, and one other one. This one was kind of crazy, but I thought a young girl would probably like something like this. It's round, and I just fringed up the edges. And I just think a young girl might like something like this. So another one of their puppy or kitty or whatever they love. I have a few other samples I'll show you when I'm getting ready to do it. But for today, I'm going to begin working on that pumpkin. And it's super duper easy. You really don't have to sew it if you don't want to. It's all done with Steam-A-Seam 2 Light. I use that for a lot of stuff, especially if I'm cutting things with my embroidery machine, with my Cricut or my Silhouette. You can cut things easily and perfectly, nice sharp edges if you put Steam-A-Seam 2 Light on the back of it first. Right now I'm going to insert a picture of another thing that I did probably about 4 years ago using this same technique. I've been doing it a lot. Maybe I'll insert a couple of pictures, so hold on. Okay, this is my Steam-A-Seam 2 Light that I've cut a piece of, and I kind of figured how many of the little rectangles I could put on here, because I'm going to use all those different colors that I showed you a moment ago. Okay, so what I did was I took a photo, and then I said edit, and I came here to where it says, I came down here to where it says original, and I went all the way to the right till I got to noir or black and white. And then I tried to look at those. Do these look the darkest? The ones at the top? Do the next ones down sort of look medium, and the last one's light? And that was the best I could do with this one. If you look here, here's how I had them placed before and originally. So I think I'm getting better. So I'm going to leave them like this for this project. So I'm just going to go ahead and take one side off of this. So this will be the piece that comes off like that. And I'm going to stick the paper side up here so that you can see easily what I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and pin it on here for now. You won't need to do this. This is just so you can see. Let's see what I'm doing. Okay, so I have my Steam-A-Seam on here, and all I'm going to do is start taking these rectangles. Oh, I'm going to press them. So you're not seeing that, but right down here, I'm making sure there's no wrinkles in them. So when I put them on the light Steamacine 2, there won't be a problem. So just press these really, really fast. Okay, because some of them are really, you know, they've been, these are from scraps that have been folded up in my stash over there for, you know, could be years. So, do you guys have a stash like me? Oh my gosh, I have a stash. So I'm just going to start, and I'll start, it's going to be hard to start right here because of my pin, so I'll move it out of the way. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick these on here, butting them right up against each other. So I'm putting them on the light Steamacine 2, the side that is sticky. So I'm just sticking them on here. Once I have them all placed, I'll go ahead and run my iron over them. So I cut each one of these pieces 3 inches by 4 inches. And I made sure, as I said, to have a good variety of lights, mediums, and darks. I tried to. Okay, so there's one row. Come back and do another row. And I noticed I had a little tiny more section left at the bottom here. And when I realized that was happening, I made these 5 inches by 3. No biggie, it's not important what size you make them. So since I had a little extra space, I decided to put some of these little polka dot ones down here, because I might need that. Okay, and once those are set on there, I'll bring my little iron over if it will reach, and I will iron these, just kind of press it, right? So that it really gets stuck to the Steamacine 2 light. Okay, after I have these all pressed on here, I'm simply going to cut them apart. And it doesn't matter if you're really, really accurate. It just, to me, it's easier to work with smaller pieces when I'm ready to start cutting my random cuts. So I'll just cut all of these apart. Yeah. Okay, the next thing you need to do is get some parchment paper. Not freezer paper, but parchment paper. You can actually get a small package of parchment paper at the dollar store, and that works well too, but not freezer paper. Okay, I happen to get this. I think this is it's Kirkland, so isn't that mean it's from Costco? So it's a great big huge one because I do a lot of these. So I'm going to tear out a piece the size I think I need. Okay, and as you can see, I've already pinned this up here. Again, you don't need to have a board like this. You could have yours flat down on your table. You could put it on a light board if you need that to be able to see through. So then we're going to do this. I'm putting the parchment paper right on top. Okay, just like that. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Perfect. Might want a few more pins. And if you're doing this down, like I said, you'll want to tape it if you can, or staple it, because you want this to be able to stay put. Because what you're going to be doing sometimes is you're going to be peeking under here as you work, okay? So you might like to staple it if you're working down. I've taped it before too, but it's sort of hard to get the tape to stick to the parchment paper. So I probably would more so recommend that you staple. Okay. All right. Now what I can do is take a pencil and kind of draw on here, because I can see through it, and I can see the medium, the lights, and the dark colors. Okay. So I'm just going to not carefully. I'm just going to go ahead and draw around here, all around it. And you see these little spriggy things right here? I've decided I'm not going to put those on mine. Okay, I'm going to make it stop right here. I'm not going to do that, because that just seems like it's extra work, and I don't really need it right there. But it's up to you. It'll be there for you if you'd like it. So then I'm going to peek under here and see where my color changes, so I can see. My hand, I think, gets in your way. but I can see it's like this, and then like this. So I'm just going to continue tracing this, and I'll meet you back here when I'm done tracing. Okay, I forgot to mention to you that I use this really thin marker. You can use any kind of marker to go over a few of these places here so I could see them more easily through my parchment paper before I started to trace. And I'm actually just going to trace with a dark green Crayola pencil. So as you can see, I'm just outlining the whole pumpkin and the leaves and the flowers. I'm not going to do this part, as I said. I don't know if I mentioned, but I did take a class on another technique for doing this. Years ago, I went out to the Denver area and I took a class. And we were learning to actually do this kind of thing and then thread painting with our sewing machines. And I got to peek under here because I'm not exactly sure what this is doing. There. Okay, and then this one goes here, 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 and now where? Okay, all the way down to here. All the way over to here. Okay, and then the next one, there's one inside of that that starts here and goes down to about here and then over like that. Okay, so I'm just going to finish tracing this and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, I'm going to get started on my pumpkin, and I think that I'll just start with these dark areas down here first, just to get us started. So I'm going to pick up one of my dark pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off, here's a piece right here. I'm just going to cut off something. I'm using these curved scissors that I like to use sometimes, and I'm just cutting out a shape. Okay, just any old shape, and I'm trying to see where will that go, and it could go right there. But I'd cut this part off and save it. And let's see, that could go right in there. And I think that would be really nice. Could cut off this tip a little bit. Okay, so what do I do to get this on here? Well, sometimes I just squish my fingers together like this and it helps the steam seam, the paper come off the back. If you're not able to do that, what you can also do is take one of your pins, turn this over, and just give it a little scrape on the back, like that, and that will release part of it so that you can get your hands in there easily and get it apart. So now this is paper, this is trash, but I'm left with the sticky Steam Seam 2 light on the back of this piece, and I can just stick it right on here. Now it's not going to stick permanently. It's going to stick okay. I don't need to do anything else with it. So if you can see, I hope, I've got more dark area to fill in right here. So maybe I'll take this fabric now and just cut out a shape, and let's see how I can get it to fit in there. So I have this shape, let's see, and I'm just going to overlap them. And okay, I like that a lot. So again, I'm going to have to take the Steam Seam 2 light off the back. If I can't do it easily like I just did, again, use your pin method. But I'm just going to stick this right on here like so. Now every once in a while, this first piece won't stick very well because it's having a hard time sticking to the parchment paper. So you can take your little iron that you have and just press it down onto the parchment paper, which will help it to stick. Don't press these two pieces of fabric together, however, because once you press them, that's a permanent press pretty much, other than when you steam it at the very end. And so you don't want to press these two pieces together right now because you might decide you don't like that one there and you want to be able to move it later. So I'm going to continue up this area right here. Maybe I'll use this darker color now. So I'm just cutting it, just kind of willy-nilly until I get a little shape up there and I can audition it basically and see how it's going to work. So I've got it cut like this. Okay, that piece looks like it's going to work perfectly right there too. So again, if I can't get this to come off easily, the last time it did, and I'll just take, you can't see it down there, take this pin and scrape a little bit like that. And that allows it to come apart perfectly, just like that. Then I can take it and stick it onto my design. And again, it's going to stick because it has that sticky steam-a-seam 2 on it. So it's going to stick there perfectly. So I think I might just go back to this dark for in there. And so I'm just still cutting some shapes. Bring them up here just to kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Okay, that piece looks like it'll work perfectly there. So again, I can take my pin and score the back of this just so it's easier for me to kind of fold it in half like this, and it gives me an opening spot where I can continue tearing off the paper from the steam-a-seam 2. Now this edge, I don't know if you can see, but this edge is sort of straight off like that, which I'm not crazy about. So what I could do is just lift this piece up because it has a nice pointed edge and put this under there, because it's a good thing to have these things overlap anyway, because you're basically making a sticker, so everything should stick or overlap. And I think I'll overlap that a little tiny bit more like that. Perfect, just like that. Nice, I love it. Okay, now I have a little bit more over here that's supposed to be dark, so I think I'll use this one again and just kind of get an idea. Okay. So again, I'm just willy-nilly cutting out some shapes. I like to add a lot of shapes to my designs because I think it makes them look a lot better. With a lot of shape, a lot of colors, a lot of textures, and that looks like that will work. Okay, I have 1 or 2 more pieces of the dark that will go here. So I've cut this one. I'll score it with my pin and take the backing off. So I can place it where I'd like it. And I'm going to have it under this a little bit, I decided. Or do I? Maybe I want it on top. No, I think I'll leave it on top, like that. So that piece is not sticking very well. So I could use my little iron and adjust to the parchment paper, not, you know why that's not sticking very well. Not to the guy underneath of it. And actually, you know what? I think I'll just trim this thing up and maybe have it be my last piece. Let's see how that's going to work. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me, so I'll leave that like that. So now I need to put some dark here. And by the way, I don't think I told you, I put the letters D for dark and L for light and M for medium, so I didn't forget, especially while I was videoing. So let's see, I think that I will use, let's see what color. I'm not happy about how that one's not sticking. What are you doing? Okay, I'll use this color. So I'm going to make a rounded bottom. And let's see, how's this going to work? I stick it under there. Oh, whoops, dropped it. Okay, I think that's going to be very nice. So again, pin, score, and take this backing off. I have a trash can right down here. And put this right here, like so. Okay, I've pretty much finished the pumpkin colors, and I'll show you that in a second. What I'm going to work on now are the branches. And remember I showed you this in the beginning, one that I had already done. And notice that there's a lot of brown in here. Well, what I usually like to do is once I have pieces onto which I've put the Steam a Seam Light 2, I save those scraps in a box like this so that I'm able to just go ahead and pick out the brown pieces that I need for the stems. I'm going to make them brown. So let's look over there. Okay, so I want to have a nice piece of brown that's going to go up here, and I can't see it any longer through my fabrics that I have. So I can open this up like this, pull it out of the way, and then let me pin it actually so you can see. There we go. Okay, I can kind of pin it out of the way, and I'm going to peel back a little bit of the brown I plan to use for this, the kind that already had the Steam a Seam in my scrap bag. And I'm going to go ahead and go like this and draw kind of heavy so I can see through to the other side, because I'm going to use this as my cutting lines for here. Okay, so there it is on my paper. I'm going to turn it over like this, and hopefully I can see through there well enough to see where to cut. So then I'm just going to go ahead and cut this, and I'm not seeing that well in that one part. So I might want to go ahead and, since I've already done it, I can use my same pencil and just make that line a little darker down here on my table. So I've darkened that in now, and hopefully we'll be able to see it through here so that I can cut. Yep, I can. And I'll use my little scissors again. These are embroidery scissors that I like to use for a lot of my projects like this. Some of the fabrics that I'm using are batiks and some are not. I just use a mixture of stuff, whatever I have on hand. I used to work at a quilt shop, and I swear I used to dumpster dive. After people had all their scraps left over, I'll go in there and I would just get the scraps out of the trash. I know, pretty weird, right? But anyway, that's how I have all these different colors of things that I can use for all of my projects. So let's see. Let me check it again. Goes like that. Okay. So this should be just to the left of that. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And I think I will just tack it down a little bit. Keep it in place. Okay. Then I can start with the other pieces that I have. So again, I have all these scraps that I can use. I could use this scrap right here to go right up there if I'd like. Cut this off. Cut this off. And again, I'm going to make sure I overlap some. And if I don't want that on top, I can always lift this up and put it underneath. I don't think it's going to matter. And what I think I'll do is I'll cut it off right here, so I can have like a rounded lighter part up there. So let's see if in my scraps I have some lighter stuff. Hopefully, oh yes, here we go. And I'll just kind of make it a little roundy piece. Just willy-nilly. You know, I'll see if this might be a little bit way too big. No, actually that looks pretty darn good. Hopefully it's overlapping enough. And put this right on here like so. And again, if I'd like, I can take my iron and press it. And that will keep them together. So now I'm going to start doing some of these stems, and then I'll begin the leaves. So this is going to be weird right here, this curly Q thing. I almost wish I didn't do it, but a little too late now. So I think I'll start with this piece over here and just kind of get an idea how it curves like that. Now let's see, sure, like that. Okay, and then I can do this and just curve it up. And there, that piece can go right there, and it's okay if it goes under the leaf. Matter of fact, I like it to do that so that, you know, it's all stuck together. I don't want it to go on top of that rounded thing, so I'll pull that up and put it under, and I'll show you. So usually I can twist my fingers together like this and get it to come apart. Again, if I can't, I can always use the pin technique. I'll pick this part up, put that under like that, like so. Like so. And there we go. That's good. It's a little bit of a thick stem, but that's okay. I think I'll use this maybe for another stem over here. See how this is going to work here. Okay, that will be fine. And I can let it go inside the leaf if I'd like. It doesn't really matter. And have it overlap like that. And again, I am just going to press those together because I really want them to stay. Okay, so there's that part. And leaf will cover all of this. So we can continue on down here. Let's see, I have this lighter color. I thought I might use the lightest color down here at the bottom. Let's see, how many other browns do I have? I have this really dark brown that could come out between these two. How about that? Kind of a reddish brown, different. So I'm looking again at the shape, trying to imagine in my head where I need to cut. Sometimes I get it okay, sometimes not so good. So what does this do? It curves like this. So let me go ahead and see if I can get it to look somewhat good. I don't need to worry if it doesn't match exactly because nobody's ever going to see this under part. So I think that will be perfect like that. And I might just cut off this tip a little bit. Use my fingers to squish these apart. Stick this one up in here so it goes under the leaf. And it's going to go under the flower a little bit. Now that piece is going to have a hard time sticking to begin with. So let me use the iron for sure on this. It's not going to want to stick very well to the parchment, but that helps it a lot. All right, let's see, what should we do here? Maybe I'll do some more dark. I kind of like that dark. So let's see how our curve is going to, no, I don't want to use the same color. How about this? Sure. So again, I'm seeing how this curves. See, it curves like this. There's some kind of junky edge. So it kind of curves like that. Okay, and then, let's see. And you know, I did a good thing a minute ago. I was like, how does this curve? It goes to here, kind of drawing, getting my memory, my brain memory to think right. So I think it went like this. We'll see how I did. Yeah, good, very good. So I'll cut this off right here. And I can place this piece on here like that, overlapping. And I might trim this off a little bit more in just a jiffy. Well, actually right this minute I think I will. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so again, fingers, twist, takes the backing off, the paper backing, and I can simply put this on here like so. Okay, if I want to adhere those a little bit better, I can do that. Okay. Let's see now, let's go down here with this lighter color, I guess. Don't know if this would be enough. You know, I like to be frugal with my scraps. It doesn't look like it'll nearly be enough. So let's see. So this is going to curve the same kind of way. It's curving like that. It's going to end about right here, like so. I think I made it a little too thick. Let's see. I think it'll be okay. I'll just trim off just a tiny bit of this. And I actually think I'm going to like it. this is gonna go here and here. Yep, like it a lot. Okay, there we go. And again, my little iron to make it stick. Nice, I like it. I feel like I need one more slice of orange over here, so I might be adding one. We'll see. It looks like it could be a little fatter on this side. I don't know. All right, let's go up to this one. Okay. So this one, let's see, it's going to start scooping around like this. Okay. So I'm going to start by scooping around like that. I'm just cutting down here out of your sight, I guess. So I'm going to scoop around like that. Okay, that's good. Like I said, notice it's not coming right up here where they drew it. But you know what? I think this will be just fine. And let's see, do I like how I scooped it? Maybe I didn't scoop it enough. But you know what? I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this piece. Wiggle them together to get them apart. Have just the sticky part left. And stick it right on here, like that. And if I'd like to, I am going to put this one under that part of the stem, I think. So I'm lifting up this stem, trying to, and I'm going to shove this down under there, like that. Great. There we go. Okay. All right, and I can go ahead and adhere those. Okay, now let's see. I think, shall I make the loop-de-loop out of this? And do I dare try to make the loop-de-loop out of one piece? I'm going to try that. So I'm just cutting a circle, and then I'm going to do a little slit into the circle and cut out the inner part. So see, I'm just, well, actually, I'll just, you'll see. Hang on. So what I've done, I cut a circle, and then I did a slit, and then the inner circle. Oh, and I made it way too big. Dang it. Ha, ha, ha. Well, well, well. All right, let me make a small. Oh, I have this piece that I cut out of the center. I can use it. So I'll cut and do the same thing again. All right, so there. All right, now we have this loop-de-loop, right? I'm gonna fix it just a little bit. It's gonna go right there like that. So again, I can squish this off. And you know, when you're doing yours, you don't have to do the loop-de-loop. You can do yours however you like. I just had a feeling I wanted to do the loop-de-loop. So let me put that down. Okay, and then let's see, maybe I need to do that same dark color to come off over here for a minute. And actually, I could probably use just a drip of this here. Make this come apart. And here we go, like that. And probably take my little scissors, if I knew where, there they are, and cut this point off right here a little bit. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, and if I want to, I could probably finish using more of this to make it curve around like so. So I might just do that. So I think I have to skinny this bit up a little bit. And let's see, will that work? I don't know, why not? Let's make it a little skinnier down here though, right? Okay, that's kind of interesting. And especially since I'm not going to have much going on here, but I am going to have another big leaf right here, so that'll be cool. Let's see, I think I'll make it a little bit different here. Let's see. Shorter. There we go. Yep, I like it. Okay. So I'm going to take the Steam-A-Seam 2 paper off the back. Right? and stick this right on here, like that. Okay, and heat it. Nice. All right, let's see, what else do I need to do? Is there a funny spot? No, it looks good. That looks good. Okay, so now looks like what I'm ready to do, one little bit here, I guess, and oh, the little bits up there. Otherwise, I'm ready to start the flowers. So what if I just take a little square, little rectangle scrap like this? See if I can get that apart. Yep. And bring it down here. Put it right here. I could put it under, so it's not like quite so flat looking. There we go. Good. Okay. And maybe right up here. Cut this off. Take the paper off the back and probably lift this up a little bit, or do I not need? Yeah, I think I will. Lift this up a little bit, put this here, and let it go into the leaf like that. The leaf will hide most of that. Okay, there. All right, let's see. So now, just about ready for the leaves. I could put a little slit right here if I wanted to, but I think I'll be okay. So now the next thing I'll do is I'll put all my scraps back in my scrap box. And did I have any green scraps? Because I thought I have blue and gray and black and white and reds, but I don't think I have any green in this box. So off I go to get the green. Okay, if you'll recall, when I cut the pieces with the Steam 2 light for the orange, I cut them into rectangles, right, to fit on my sheet of Steam 2. This time I really truly used scraps, all different sizes and colors, textures, and so I just stuck them on here. Before I pressed them, of course, I used the backing that came off of the Steam 2 to protect my iron. So I'm just going to cut these apart now and I'll start putting them on the leaves there. Okay, I did the green leaves basically the same way. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do the flowers, but this video is awfully long, so I figured that I'm going to stop here, and my next video will show you how I'm going to go ahead and free motion or quilt this front of a pillow or maybe a wall hanging, and who knows, maybe I'm even going to cut out some text to go on it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you have an idea of what else I should be adding to this. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure that you write to Team Patty Ann if you would like the free downloadable file, the image, the pumpkin image that you will need to print out on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper and then cut them and put them together. So again, thanks for joining me. Bye, you guys.